Pete Hegseth absolutely shocks the Pentagon with a brutal plan that is sure to trigger the left and leave them running angrily all over the place. Guys, this is going to be good. I think you're going to like it. As many of you know, Pete Hegseth has been quite a controversial figure ever since he has joined in his position as Secretary of Defense, and also for that especially, and often for, frankly, kind of stupid reasons. You saw a lot of attacks on his personal life. You know, he did this, he did that, he drank. Oh, wow, drinking, that's a sin now. All this other stupid stuff. The left was so morally righteous and uptight about it. But, you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, there are routinely people on the Democrat side of politics who get arrested for, you know, doing stuff with children that is utterly unacceptable. And you never hear them condemning it or even seem to care about that. But then, you know, Hegseth had a divorce, which, you know, obviously divorce is bad. I'm not making judgments about him or anyone involved with that. But, you know, that's really what the left is going to sit here and get upset about? Really? With all the stuff, dirt that they have on them? It doesn't even make sense. And so lately, after he's gotten in there, Hegseth is now actually working on doing an audit of sorts of the Pentagon because, as many of you know, many are not trusting the government nowadays and don't think that they are doing the right things for the American people. So check this out.
That includes a Pentagon audit, which to the Marines out there, y'all got to figure it out. And we appreciate that. Lean and mean. We are going to focus heavily to ensure that at a bare minimum, by the end of 4 years, the Pentagon passes a clean audit. The American taxpayers deserve that. They deserve to know where their $850 billion go, how it's spent, and make sure it's spent wisely. It used to be that if you called for an audit, somehow you were undermining the department. I believe the exact opposite. I believe we are accountable for every dollar we spend, and every dollar of waste we find or redundancy is a dollar we can invest somewhere else. As President Trump has committed directly to rebuilding our nation's military. So rebuilding our military is key.
I really like what he says here. You know, it's true. We should have transparency with our government, and that is not necessarily insulting them or anything like that. And if they take it as an insult, maybe that means we need to investigate them more, frankly, because it probably is a reason they're getting so angry and upset. And, you know, in spite of wanting to audit the Pentagon, you know, the naysayers will say that means he wants a weaker military or something because he's trying to, you know, keep them accountable. I think Hegseth actually wants a very strong military, and he's demonstrated that with his rhetoric elsewhere. Look at this.
Wonderful process to go through and meet with senators and talk to them, especially members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, whose passion is the Defense Department, and our warfighters, to hear what they want to do to make sure that department is properly oriented for the threats of the world and make sure that we're putting the warfighters first. That's what Donald Trump asked me to do. Your job is to bring a warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon. Your job is to make sure that it's lethality, lethality, lethality. Everything else is gone. Everything else that distracts from that shouldn't be happening. That's the message I'm hearing from senators in that advise and consent process. It's been a wonderful process.
And, you know, even behind the scenes, Hegseth has been putting his money where his mouth is. All right? Check this out. That right there is Hegseth post-workout, and he actually has been working out with a lot of the people who are way under him in terms of, you know, the hierarchy in the military, and they're loving it, as you can see. They love the guy. And lest you think I'm making this up, here are some photos of it. Boom! Look at that. You can see Hegseth lifting weights. You know, he's running over there. More weights. You know, a picture with the guys. Some of them who were in that video we saw. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Now, let's hear Hegseth talk about why he's doing this.
You made a point to do PT with 10th group this morning on very little sleep. Why was it so important for you to do this? And tell us about the workout.
I did do PT with the troops this morning. Listen, it's not that long ago that I was right there with them. I probably, no offense, General, I probably connect more with those guys than I do with four-star generals. But now I get the chance of working with four stars and others who are committed to the troops. But when I can get down, do push-ups and deadlifts with the troops, and just hear from them, what's working, what isn't, how do you see your mission set? I love that. So there was never a doubt, even though we got in at 2 a.m, that we were getting up a couple hours later to go do PT. It's a reminder that you guys, the press in Washington might think I'm young, but in military terms, I'm old. And that showed this morning with these young guys who ran circles around me in that parking lot.
I respect the humility, and I also love that aspect of leadership that Hegseth is displaying, because at the end of the day, if a leader is not willing to do the things he expects people under him to do, and that PT is definitely a great example of that, you know, that is something that is missing in a lot of leadership nowadays. So good on him. Also, for another testament to how much Hegseth cares about strengthening the military, take a look at what he has to say about the so-called diversity that people are saying the military should adopt, you know, whatever that means. It's basically another word for weakness, and you're going to see Hegseth explain why right here.
I think the single dumbest phrase in military history is our diversity is our strength. I think our strength is our unity. Our strength is our shared purpose, regardless of our background, regardless of how we grew up, regardless of our gender, regardless of our race. In this department, we will treat everyone equally. We will treat everyone with fairness. We will treat everyone with respect. And we will judge you as an individual by your merit and by your commitment to the team and the mission. That's how it has been. That's how it will be. Any inference otherwise is meant to divide or create complications that otherwise should not and do not exist.
I don't know, Hegseth. I don't know. I mean, we used to have a pretty diverse bunch under Biden, you know, in the military, and I don't know, you know, you got the rainbow LGBT flag, you know, that's Rachel Levine over there, by the way, maybe before he became Rachel. It looks pretty diverse to me, you know, pretty strong. Okay. Yeah, I can't take this seriously, guys. Oh, man. Yeah, it is bad. Also, I love this caption right here. The military under Lloyd Austin and Joe Biden versus the military under Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. Yeah, you know, that's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. There's one more thing, Mr. Hegseth. You know, there is a guy who might be a bit of a problem who need to look at. All right. You just mentioned your video, your clip about working together as a team. I don't know if this guy's a team player. All right, look at this. Warning. This is a very effeminate and anger-inducing video because it is so just effeminate. It's irritating.
Okay, so I just went in a military building. These just told me to go in this building, and they were like, okay, get your dental stuff done, and the thing opens at 8, and so I showed up like half an hour early, and this scary-ass drill sergeant looking guy, he came up to me and he was like, go get a f***ing haircut. Don't come back in this f***ing building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay, yes, sir. He grabbed this part of my uniform and was like, when you're in this uniform, you need to abide by the standards in AR 670-1. And I was like, yes, sir. He was like, go get a haircut right now and don't come back in this building until you get a haircut. I was like, okay. So I am on my way to get a haircut because that was scary as fuck. So if I look like a fucking army rat when I get... Guys, I look like I'm about to go to fucking war. Yeah. And yeah. And that's all. I ate.
Guys, I don't look like an army rat. Not a team player. All right, Hegseth, where's Tom Homan at? You need to get him, please. The Donald, if you need him to, and let's support this dude. All right. Wherever, I don't care where he goes, but enough's enough. Well, guys, that wraps up our segment for today. Hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit more of what Hegseth is like behind the scenes, and will that military brat get deported? I don't know. We will see. One can only hope. With all that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you like the video, guys, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you again soon. God bless.